we start referring to Islam instead of radical Islam. In San Bernardino, 14 people were slaughtered because a concerned neighbor didn't want to be labeled as Islamophobic. She was literally crippled by political correctness and people died. I'm tired of treating adherents to the religion of peace with kid gloves. Any religion or ideology worth believing in would stand up to scrutiny. See, that's the kind of free thought you can expect here in America. Scrutinizing things is what we do. You don't like it? If that offends you, leave. Get one thing straight, folks. If your grip on reality is so tenuous that hearing people criticize your religion sends you into a psychotic frenzy that makes you want to rape 9-year-olds, put on a suicide vest, make a spectacle of yourself, throw acid in people's faces, shoot up a gay nightclub, destroy an entire country, I venture to say that my judging, scrutinizing words are the least of your problems. They have a name for those kinds of people. They are criminally insane. Either way, there's no sense in pretending that these people will make good neighbors. Lefties want us to think that our judging words will cause our moderate Muslim neighbors to radicalize. Who are the real fearmongers, people? Walk on eggshells or your neighbor will decapitate you. The idea that we are the ones who cause people to be radicalized by the mere action of pointing out the ideology that openly breeds radicals is exactly the kind of self-imploding anti-logic that leftists want us to imbibe. Either moderates have moral agency and they are responsible for the propaganda they imbibe, or they don't have moral agency and we ought to treat them like we do any ticking time bomb. No, leftists choose neither. They choose that we are the problem. They baselessly accuse us of racism and xenophobia when America happens to be one of the most racially diverse and tolerant countries in the history of humanity. When 50 gay Americans were slaughtered in cold blood by a ravenous Muslim, leftists came out in droves trying to anticipate a backlash that never came. Instead of acknowledging that Islam is extremely intolerant of homosexuals and that Sharia law commands Muslims to murder gays, the press focused on compassionate, freedom-loving, peaceful Americans who simply want to keep their children safe. Yes, including their gay children. With a brush that covers the entire Western civilization, they paint us as intolerant bigots who paint Islam with too broad a brush. God, leftism is not without its little ironies. And so much for LGBT rights. When push came to shove, gays got thrown under the bus. Whenever an adherent to the religion of peace slaughters an innocent roomful of Westerners, leftist news media does the same song and dance in cyclical fashion. 1, before the info even comes out, they insinuate that it was a white Christian. 2, when the mass murderer turns out to be a Muslim, which it invariably is, the media shifts focus to the backlash, whitewashing any and all connection to Islam or our mortal enemies like ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Boko Haram, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, the Islamic Republic of Iran, etc., etc. I could go on all day. They tout these moderate imams, all 3 of them, just to try to assuage the righteous outrage of Westerners. They ask us to shut our lying eyes so that we don't see the invasion that is taking place right before them. 3, they present fake relativistic news about past crimes of the KKK, the Westboro Baptist Church, the Crusades, the Salem witch trials, or better yet, they make up fake hate crimes against Muslims to distract us and to justify being tolerant of present-day mass murderers. Take this to the bank, folks. If there were any evidence of a rise in hate crimes towards Muslims, it would be plastered on the news indefinitely. Good thing for them, we are all guilty by insinuation. 4, rinse and repeat until it becomes revised history. If you want to know why kindergartners are being told to check their straight white male privilege, it's because of this PC garbage that is getting people killed. Western values are open to anyone, all races, all genders, all sexual orientations. As long as you believe in liberty, I don't care who you are or where you come from. Most Americans feel this way. Freedom is the only fighting chance for people around the world, and just because we have it and they don't, doesn't give them the right to invade our shores with the sole purpose of taking it away from us. But if you think you can show up here and use our tolerance and compassion to defeat us, I urge you to think again. You find refuge here by the grace of our idea of freedom and liberty, not by your Sharia law. Either way, we have nothing to do with radicalizing terrorists. We are not to blame for this. We have a right to acknowledge threats to our own existence. We have the right to name the enemy. We have the right to fight back against the scourge that is Islam. Not radical Islam, Islam. I see no evidence that Islam is a religion of peace, nor that its followers are inherently peaceful. Yes, there are peaceful Muslims out there. Is it because of Islam? I'm not sure I believe that. A word of advice: do not wake the sleeping beast. I know I speak for the men with the stockpiles of weapons in their homes when I say we like our freedom more than we like you.